You don't even know the name of the father? You careless little... You will get rid of that child right now.
Come here.
Yes, Dr. Escobar. I'm calling on behalf of my daughter, Amelia Rivera. She needs an abortion. Today.
You can't do that, Father. It's my choice.
Well, if that's your choice, then you can just give birth to your child out on the street. Come here!
What are you doing? Ow!
I was disowned for a pregnancy no one could explain, not even me. I was trapped in a game I didn't even know I was part of. And it all began on my 21st birthday.
All come tonight, celebrate our beautiful daughter's 21st birthday.
Siblings, you should be having fun. Happy birthday. Thanks.
I trusted my stepsister. Never knew the knife in my back had her fingerprints all over it.
Are you okay? I'll be back.
Right.
One night, too many drinks. I woke up in a hotel bed, thinking it was my fiancé Charles beside me. I was wrong.
Stop! Who are you people?
Secure the room. Check her belongings.
Hello. My name is Cortez. My job is to secure the privacies of my client. And you slept with them last night.
What? Is this a joke? I spent the night with the man I'm gonna marry. He's in the shower. You can go check right now.
All clear, sir.
It wasn't Charles. It was a stranger. One sentence shattered everything I thought I knew.
Miss Rivera, as you can see, Charles isn't here. You had a lot to drink last night. And you accidentally entered my client's room where he was waiting for a date. You need to sign this NDA. It'd be like it never happened. You paid a pretty sum for your silence, and it's done.
What am I supposed to tell Charles?
Wait, aren't you listening? It never happened. Let's go.
I chose silence, pretended that night never happened. Life with Charles felt normal again. Until the hospital exposed the lie I thought was buried.
Congratulations. You're pregnant.
No, that's not possible. She can't be pregnant. We haven't even done anything yet. Listen, it's not really on, right?
Fine, please.
Charles walked away, and I couldn't blame him. Alone, broken, with nowhere to turn. Desperation led me straight to the mystery man's lawyer.
I don't expect your client to step in and help out, but you should know. He's going to be a father.
Miss Rivera, my client would like to financially support your child. He's made sure to cover everything. An education stipend, the birth, after-school activities, and a living allowance. You just have to sign.
What's the catch?
If at any point in the next 18 years my client would like to be present in your child's life, you must agree to grant immediate shared custody. And you, along with the child, must reside in his home.
You brought yourself a deal. I hope he does come crawling back into his son's life, so I can make him regret it, so I can make his life a living hell.
Months later, I gave birth to Max, alone, abandoned, and fighting the world on my own. Years went by, and survival only got harder. For 6 long years, through every storm, the only reason I kept going was Max, my anchor, my light, my everything.
Of course you're watching this. What 5-year-old finds defense budgeting fun? Mom, why don't we switch to something more age-appropriate? Oh, shoot. The ramen's here. You got us ramen? Your favorite. I'm gonna go get it. Stay here and don't open the door for anyone, okay? Can anybody hear me? I'm stuck in the elevator. It's Kitty. Hello?
We did eat.
Max? Max! Max? Max, baby, are you in there? Max?
It's okay, Mr. Farron. He's with us.
Mr. Cortez, where is my son?
He's safe, Mr. Vera. I promise.
Let's step back. Calm down.
What is this about? Bring me to my child now, or I'm going to call the police.
His father wanted to meet him.
I'm sorry, did you just say his father?
No, not him. Not now. The one man I feared would return had found us, and I was defenseless.
He doesn't even know Max.
Hey, Max. We're not gonna hurt you. I'm Javier. So, can you tell me anything about your father?
He's dead.
Dead. Well, what if I told you that I'm your father?
Sir, emergency call from VP.
Very well. Max. I hope to see you again very soon.
Oh, God. Thank God you're okay. I'm so sorry, sweetie. Oh, my God.
I couldn't run anymore. For Max, I had to stand still and face the storm head-on.
My boss has invited you and Max to his estate for dinner.
Mom, that man that was here earlier said he was my dad.
It's a complicated story. The short answer is yes. Yes. I'll explain later, okay?
A palace I didn't recognize, a reason I didn't know, and a fear sinking in fast. What had I walked into? His presence alone dragged me back to the night I swore to forget, and that face burned into my memory. And every time I saw him, all I wanted was to slap in.
Oh, Marianne. Hey.
Let go of me.
Hey, she's fine. Leave us.
For your majesty.
I said leave us.
Who the hell are you? And why do those guards call you Your Highness?
I'm Javier Calderon, Crown Prince of Spain. You will be.
All right then, Prince Calderon. What do you want?
Like my son. He should be living here. Wayne's Manor.
What? My nightmare just turned to reality and I wanted to escape it.
Hey!
You have no right. You abandoned him and now he will waltz back in and wreck our lives.
I never abandoned him. Until a week ago, I didn't even know Max existed.
You pay child support every month.
Based. No, I don't. Someone else does.
I met with your lawyer.
Mr. Cortez was working for someone else. I was never informed that you were pregnant. I never saw the contract.
If you had known 6 years ago, what would you have done?
Things were different for me back then. I'd like to think I'd be doing exactly what I'm doing now.
I was torn between the man I wanted to hate and the one now speaking with unexpected kindness.
If this conspiracy is true, it's unfortunate that we're both tangled up in this, but Max is all I have.
I'm not gonna take him from you. But I read the contracts, and technically, you're both contractually obligated to move in.
So now you're trying to use the contract to force...
No, I'm not forcing you, but Max, Max, on the other hand, he's moving in. He's my son. You can move in too. The contract does require that we share a bed together. I think I'd like to enforce that now.
Don't you dare.
Jeez, woman I remember used to be able to take a joke.
That woman raised a child all by herself and was abandoned fully by her family, thanks to you. I should go.
Wait. Good night, Amelia. It was good to see you again.
We played the part for Max, sharing a roof, not the truth, until the evening at the gathering where things were about to change. Yes, I stumbled upon Charles. The man I once gave my heart to.
Hey, you look really beautiful tonight.
You look good too.
It wasn't Charles at the party that shocked me.
There you are, Charles.
It was soon my stepsister Sophie on his arm.
Hello. Look what the cat dragged in.
What the hell are you doing up here?
Mom said you can't keep junk like this in the house anymore.
Sorry.
No voice cannot.
I hear you're dating a gossip. But Sophie wants him. You will break up with him.
No.
You are tougher than I thought.
How foolish was I to not see that Sophie's obsession with Charles was the poison behind it all.
How could they? How could he? Sophie has always been an awful sister, but Charles? I thought he was better than this. What could he possibly see in her? Amelia's head was spinning at the thought of her ex-boyfriend, whom she still had feelings for, being intimate with her bratty half-sister. Charles tensed his shoulders as Sophie wrapped her arms around him with a playful smile dancing on her lips. He turned to her with a stringent look and steered her away from the PDA. Sophie, this is my work. I have to be professional. Sophie whispered not so quietly in his ear. Don't be so shy, babe. We're an official couple now. There's nothing to hide or be embarrassed about. It's not like anyone is watching us. Sophie pretended she hadn't seen Amelia, even though she inserted herself right between them when she arrived. Just then, her half-sister turned to her and feigned surprise. Oh my God, Amelia! I had no idea you'd be at this thing. Sophie exclaimed with a grin. She was utterly delighted by the look of hurt and confusion on Amelia's face as she registered her and Charles's relationship. With a mischievous glint in her eye, Sophie milked Amelia's discomfort. My ballet troupe is on hiatus, so... Surprise! I'm back in town, just like Charles here, she announced, her sugary words hiding venom. And we adore New York. Don't get me wrong, but there's no better feeling than coming home, you know? Well, I guess you wouldn't know since you've never left. Clearly uncomfortable himself, Charles snuck Amelia an apologetic glance. Amelia put her best foot forward and tried to seem happy about her sister's news. That's really great, Sophie. I'm sure Valentina is glad to have you back. Sophie sweetly took Amelia's hand. I'm sorry this is how you're finding out about me and Charles, sister. I had planned to ask you to dinner so I could share the news of our love sister to sister. But I guess fate had other plans. It brought us together here. All Amelia wanted was a hole to crawl into. She scanned her surroundings, searching for Faith or anyone who could save her, but her friend was nowhere to be found. Meanwhile, Sophie would not stop talking. God, I don't know who organized this event, but I'm finding it a bit dull. Oops, sorry, it wasn't you, Amelia, was it? Charles, sweetie, I'm in desperate need of caffeine. Would you mind? Charles happily took the opportunity to extract himself from the tense situation, and more importantly, to escape Sophie's clinginess. Sophie affectionately linked arms with Amelia. Let's chat, sis. Amelia stiffened. The moment Charles was no longer in Sophie's line of sight, her cheerful demeanor vanished. She released Amelia's arm and leaned in close. I saw the way you were looking at him, Sophie warned, her voice low but firm. It's pathetic. Really, that you're still holding on to that teenage crush you two once had? Amelia wasn't fazed by Sophie's two-faced behavior. She was very familiar with it. Amelia looked her sister in the eye with confidence and composure. When I spoke to Charles earlier, I didn't know you two were together, Sophie, she justified. Sophie wasn't done, though. You need to accept that Charles will never want you back, especially since, well, let's just say it's no secret you're damaged goods, she provoked. Amelia didn't let her get a rise out of her. Before you label me as the threat to your relationship with Charles, you should take a good, hard look at yourself first. It's only a matter of time before he sees through this fake, nice girl act of yours and down to your rotten core. Amelia spoke with an air of cool indifference. It's a shame. I had hoped that over time you'd grow out of these immature insecurities so we could build a real friendship as sisters. But this is just who you are, isn't it? Seething inside, Sophie failed to find the words for a clever comeback. Her efforts were cut short when Charles returned with her coffee. Sophie now understood there was nothing she could say to make Amelia come undone the way she wanted. So she tried something different. She set her coffee down on the bar, then suddenly pulled Charles into a... Not knowing, his boss was right behind them. Stop it, Sophie. What is wrong with you? Charles couldn't believe she pulled that stunt after he explicitly set a boundary against workplace PDA. He turned his back on her and walked off, leaving the sisters alone again in cold tension. Amelia couldn't comprehend why Sophie would stoop so low. You think you're hurting me, but you're actually hurting Charles. Why would you jeopardize his professional life like that? You haven't changed one bit, Sophie. Realizing that Amelia was right, Sophie regretted what she did. Her impulsive act could have a negative effect not only on Charles's job, but also on their relationship. But Sophie wasn't one to take responsibility for her actions. Who are you to talk about professionalism when you show up to a work event in a dress like that? Did you wear that today, hoping to steal my boyfriend? Or will anyone's boyfriend do, since you're clearly desperate? Fed up with Sophie's relentless attacks, Amelia decided to cross the line to put her in her place. Based on how jealous you're acting, I don't think I need a special dress to steal Charles. But you tell me, did he ever stop being mine? Amelia's words stabbed right in the center of Sophie's greatest insecurity, and a bomb of rage went off inside of her. She grabbed her steaming cup of coffee and dumped it on Amelia's chest. Amelia gasped when the scalding liquid splashed onto her chest and ran down the front of her gown, burning her skin. The crowd by the bar area fell silent, and shock enveloped the atmosphere as all eyes were drawn to the spectacle between the two women. On the outside, Amelia remained collected and did not retaliate, choosing not to make a scene in front of her colleagues. But inside, she gritted her teeth and was filled with alarm. The burn was intense, and her dress was now ruined. Amelia heard a commotion nearby and turned to see the prince advancing toward them with his staff trailing behind him like a shadow. Unbothered by the fact that she just assaulted her sister, Sophie's eyes lit up in anticipation, eager to greet the oncoming prince. As he reached her, she curtsied. Hello, Your Royal Highness, Prince Calderon. I'm Sophie Rivera. It's an honor to... Javier strode right past Sophie, ignoring her as if she were a ghost. She felt humiliated when he instead made a beeline for her sister. Amelia froze in her spot, unsure what was going on. Weren't they pretending to be strangers? The prince stopped before her and greeted her cordially. Good evening. His voice was smooth and strong. Javier then hooked a finger under Amelia's chin and slowly raised it until her eyes met his. His dark and piercing gaze bore into hers with a depth that was hard to read. Self-conscious about all the eyes on them, she felt the blood rush to her face. She cleared her throat. Good evening, Your Highness. Javier's eyes were so intense that they left Amelia breathless. She struggled to comprehend the unspoken emotions swirling within them. Amelia furrowed her brow in confusion. Her heart raced. Prince Calderon, what are you... He spoke coolly. Is everything okay? Amelia could feel her coworkers watching them. Yes, I'm fine. The air around them felt charged, heavy, with a mix of apprehension and curiosity as she tried to decipher the meaning behind his unwavering stare. He then trailed his gaze down her face. This stirred a fluster within her that was difficult to contain. With all eyes on the interaction between the prince and the intern, Javier turned to Victor with a serious order. Fetch me a doctor as soon as possible. This lovely lady is injured. It was then that Amelia suddenly realized what this was all about. He saw her get burned by the coffee and came over to examine the angry red welts that had formed on her chest. As Victor hurried off, Javier's icy stare shifted to Sophie and seemed to freeze the air around her. Once Javier was gone, Sophie couldn't help but let the jealousy get the best of her, and she sniped at Amelia. You should wipe that hopeful look off your face, Amelia. What Prince Javier just showed you was a display of pity. There is no world where a man like that would have any interest in a nobody like you. Amelia rolled her eyes. Sophie had no idea how little she understood about the situation she witnessed. Sophie would probably combust if she ever were to learn that the prince was her nephew's father. But she couldn't share that. Instead, she just gave a retort. It seems the one interested in the prince here is you. Sophie was about to push back when the medic appeared and interrupted them.
Miss Rivera, Prince Calderon has requested that you come with me to receive immediate treatment for your wounds.
The medic stood, waiting for her to follow him. Meanwhile, Amelia got to see the storm of envy that surged within Sophie as she strode away with her head held high, trailing behind the medic. My half-sister tried to scald me, but she was the one who ended up burned, Amelia explained to the medic. She still couldn't believe that Sophie had emerged as Charles's new girlfriend and got jealous enough from one conversation to spill hot coffee on her chest. What kind of person does she think I am? I wouldn't have shown up in a stunning dress to flirt with Charles if I knew he was her boyfriend. Using the word boyfriend to describe Charles's relationship with Sophie nearly made Amelia gag. The medic completed her work on Amelia's wounds. Her voice was calm and soothing. You're lucky the injury wasn't serious, Miss Rivera, the doctor said. Prince Javier will be glad to know that you'll be fine in no time. Amelia thanked the doctor, and as she left, she overheard the doctor tell a colleague. The prince is such a generous person. He went out of his way to ensure that a random employee received proper medical treatment. Amelia shook her head at the comment. If only people knew that she wasn't a random employee to the prince, but the mother of his child. Then they might take Javier off his pedestal for his good deed. It was nice that he helped her with the medic, but in comparison to all the damage he'd caused, it was just a drop in the bucket. With the gown now covered with coffee, Amelia had no choice but to change back into her work clothes from earlier today. When she returned to the party to avoid drawing any more attention, she tucked herself away in a corner for the rest of the event. But soon, Faith noticed Amelia zoning out and approached her friend. I'm gonna get jealous if you keep staring at my future husband from across the room, she teased. The rumors going around about what happened tonight between you and the prince are wild. Is it true he essentially ran an ice cube down your chest? That's a rumor that's going around? Amelia was mortified by the thought. It was literally nothing. I just got lucky that Javier, Prince Calderon, was around to see what happened. Faith's grin disappeared from her face. Well, that was anticlimactic. You're welcome, by the way. I told you that you'd be the center of attention in that dress. Amelia winced at the memory of her friend's beautiful dress now covered in coffee stains. I'm so sorry about the dress. I'll pay for the dry cleaning. Faith wouldn't hear of it. Don't be silly. The only person who should be paying for that is Sophie. The mere mention of Sophie's name gave Amelia a headache. I'm actually hiding here to avoid her and Charles. Faith, when we saw each other at the bar, I swear I felt something between us. But seeing that he's with Sophie, maybe I just imagined it. Faith leaned in closer. I don't think you imagined it. That man has been stealing glances at you all night. Sadness colored Amelia's eyes. Thanks. But there's officially no chance of me ever getting back with him now that he's dating Sophie. After witnessing Amelia strut into the gala feeling so confident, seeing her defeated like this pissed Faith off on Amelia's behalf. If Charles is willing to date a demon like Sophie, then he's too stupid to deserve to be with you. Amelia opened her arms and welcomed Faith's comforting hug. She felt truly lucky to have a best friend willing to trash talk her ex-boyfriend and her sister to make her feel better. Later that night, in her bedroom at Javier's villa, Amelia lay awake, trying to push away the bitter sadness that had grown in her heart since she saw Charles with Sophie. I can't be mad at Charles when I was the one who pushed him away 6 years ago. I can only blame myself. Well, maybe not just myself. I can also blame everyone's favorite Spanish prince for luring me into bed and then vanishing without a trace. After the drama-filled night, Amelia's mind was too wild to fall asleep. So she wandered into the kitchen in search of some late-night comfort food. Amidst all the hubbub, she had forgotten to eat at the party. She opened the fridge and her eyes immediately landed on the empanadas that Max had helped her make the day before. Making treats together was one of their favorite activities. They both cherished it. As Amelia heated up the empanadas, it felt strange to cook them on this enormous industrial-sized stove compared to the small one in the tiny apartment she had left behind. Once they were ready, she tossed them in a bowl and hopped up on the counter to enjoy a bite. But when she sunk her teeth into the empanada, it was so hot it scalded her mouth. In pain, she spat the hunk of empanada back out into her bowl and hopped around the kitchen, fanning her mouth. Ah, ha, 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 hot! What is this dance you're doing in my kitchen? The sudden rumble of Javier's voice in the quiet kitchen startled her. She didn't even hear him enter. Ah, stop sneaking up on me like that. Wear a bell or something. Amelia huffed and leaned against the counter with her snack. Did you manage to scald yourself for the second time in one night? She didn't feel like dignifying his provoking question with an answer. All Amelia wanted was to have a lonely midnight snack and feel sorry for herself while she watched a soapy TV show on her phone. But it seemed she was doomed to run into the devil anytime she ventured out into the house late at night. As Javier searched the fridge for a snack, Amelia couldn't help but notice how casually sexy he looked in his robe and pajama pants. If only that rude mouth wasn't attached to the rest of him. It really sours the overall package. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Amelia stare at him for a few seconds without saying anything. At this point, he was getting used to her complete disregard for social norms. He looked like a lost pup as he rummaged through containers of chopped carrots and cucumbers in the fridge. She saw him scowl every time he came across one of the healthy options his nutritionalist instructed his staff to make. She smirked at his obvious disdain. Want some empanada? She offered, breaking the silence. But Javier didn't even bother to look at her when he gave a dismissive, Taken aback by his coldness, she rolled her eyes. I was just trying to be nice since you helped me get my burns treated today, she said. But apparently the empanadas Max and I made aren't fancy enough for a prince. He sighed, hearing the sass in her voice, then reached out for the bowl. Max made these? She pulled it back. Sorry, the offer is now rescinded, she teased. If you can't appreciate the home-cooked pastry that our son helped me make with love, then you don't deserve to know how good they taste. She grabbed an empanada from the bowl and made a show of taking a big bite with exaggerated satisfaction. What a perfect midnight snack. Javier's stomach suddenly growled. It seemed Amelia wasn't the only one who forgot to eat at tonight's event. Do you have to chew so loudly? What kind of manners are you teaching our son? Amelia grinned and made her chewing even louder at his expense. Just then, Javier snatched the bowl from her hands and shoved a big piece of an empanada into his mouth. Javier closed his eyes to savor the delicious flavors. Amelia's marketing was not an exaggeration. He hadn't enjoyed food like this in a long time. Talk about bad manners. Give that back. She snatched her plate back as he chewed with a proud smirk on his face. Amelia looked down at the bowl and froze with the realization. Oh no, did he eat the piece that I spat out? He did. Recalling his misophobia, she felt bad about this snafu that was bound to send a germaphobe like him into a panic. She considered not telling him so he could enjoy his snack in ignorant bliss, but seeing that smug look still plastered on his face, she decided to share the news. Javier, do you remember that piece of empanada that I spit out when I burned my mouth? Yeah, I think it's now in your mouth. Javier's face darkened, and his brow furrowed into a glare. Amelia rolled her eyes and held her hand up to his mouth. Here, spit it out. He looked down at her hand, wanting to spit it out, but couldn't decide which was the more disgusting option, to keep her germs in his mouth or see his chewed-up food in someone else's hand. Amelia got closer with her hand cupped under his mouth and coaxed him like she would with Max. Come on, you can do it. Spit it out. She was so close that his senses were overtaken by her soft, warm scent of vanilla and citrus. It reminded him of the night they spent together. She smelled just as sweet then, exactly like this. Lost in that thought, he forgot what he was fretting about and swallowed the empanada without thinking. The second it happened, they both froze at the realization of what he had done. A sudden giggle escaped Amelia's mouth, feeling a bit awkward about the situation. Why did you swallow my germs? Are you okay? He was at a loss for words. For some reason, any time he was around this woman, he caught himself acting a little reckless. Javier gave her a surly grunt and left the kitchen. Reflecting on how strangely intimate the exchange felt, Amelia's cheeks flushed. When that little midnight snack bounced from her mouth into his, it was as if they shared an indirect kiss. Dad, what's wrong? Is everything okay? A few days after the gala, Amelia was in her office at work when she answered a call from her father, Raphael, in a panic. Between their estrangement and his workaholic lifestyle as the mayor, she rarely heard from him. So when he called her cell in the middle of the day, she assumed there was an emergency.
Oh, sure. Things are fine. Do you have a minute?
Amelia's stomach clenched. Was this about the gala drama with Sophie? Was he calling her to scold her? Feeling awkward, he cleared his throat.
Listen, your grandmother is hosting a dinner party tonight for the whole family. Can you come?
Amelia was taken aback by the invite. Since the disownment, her family had kept her at arm's length, and she herself avoided them like the plague. Oh, I don't know, Dad. I'm pretty slammed at work.
Amelia, it would mean a lot to me if you came.
The sudden warmth and sincerity in his voice caught her off guard.
I'm an old man now. I don't know how time got away from us, but I've been thinking lately, it's not right that we don't see each other.
Who was this man, and what did he do with her rigid father? This bizarre attitude change spooked her. Dad? Are you sick or something? He chuckled.
Nothing like that. I'd just like to see you and my grandson more. So, will you come?
Amelia shuddered at the thought of seeing her stepmother and half-sister tonight. But her dad seemed to be offering her an olive branch. So she was tempted to take it. There had been a hole in her heart since he turned his back on her. Before the pregnancy and before Raphael let his political aspirations run his life, she was a daddy's girl. Her father was her whole world. If there was hope that they could mend bridges, it might heal a broken piece inside her. All right, Dad. I'll be there. Later that day, when Javier came home, he found Max in his room doing homework. Math, huh? I'm good at math. Javier crouched down at the kid-sized table to help, and a quiet smile crept up on Max's face.
To find out what happens next, download the Pocket FM app in the next minute to get free access to all episodes of The Royal Accident for free.